It's got to happen. They've got to do something. They've got to do something. They've got to find a way. Like I said earlier, something. If we get the result that we need on Thursday, either Astra does something really really great, or we win that game, or whatever happens.
Yeah.
If that happened, they cannot do what they did the last two times we got in. What they did 2 years ago. After we get past Barcelona, we get into the final 16 of the Champions League, and we didn't do anything to strengthen. They've got to find a way to do that this time around and get a run going. They have to. Because wouldn't it be great? Because you know where the Europa League final is, right?
Where?
You don't know?
Nope.
It's in Warsaw.
That'd be good.
Would you go?
Fucking right, I'll be going.
Okay. Do you think you could get a visa and get across the border with a bulletproof vest?
Warsaw is not that bad.
After the Liga games?
Nah, I think we'd be okay. But no, put it this way, right?
I don't think we'd find too many smiley faces if we got through.
Right. Back to the transfer thing, right? If we invest, right, you've gave Ronnie summer to Christmas, and you gave him loan signings, and he wasn't really allowed to go out and sign his own players, etc., or many of his own stuff. I think it's kind of a reward. You say, right, you've proved that you're not a complete failure. You're moving the club forward. Let's go out and buy you a centre midfield player of your picking, and he gets to buy his marquee player at the centre of the park to put the team around. See if you get that guy. Looking at it, we've got Izzy tied up, we've got Lustig tied up, we've got Van Dijk under contract, we've got Brown under contract, hopefully have Guidetti under contract, you've got Stokes having a bit of a renaissance as a player, you've got Johansson playing well, and you've got Wee Forrest hopefully coming back. See if you look at it, right, Forrest is young, Johansson's 22, Guidetti's like 21. Yep. If you kept Denier, he's 19. Van Dijk's in his early 20s. Yep. Izzy's still young. Lustig's still young. Craig Gordon's young for a goalkeeper. The core of that team is a young team that we have tied up.
Gordon's on a 3-year contract.
Exactly. So there you go. We'd have that'd be one of the strongest positions of having everybody tied up for a long time, because Johansson's starting to have a really run of form. So
before you go any further, let me ask you this real quick.
What?
From what I've read, Gordon's on like 9,000 a week or something ridiculous.
Okay.
Do you hardball him, or do you, after this season he shows that he's healthy, he can do it, do you give him more money and extend his contract, or do you think...
Did you say he's on a 3-year deal?
He's on a 3-year deal.
If he's on a 3-year deal, I wouldn't be offering him a new contract now. I don't see the point.
No. I said at the end of the year, he shows he can be healthy. He
still have 2 years in his contract, though.
He's got to have 2 years left on his contract.
So
at the end of this year.
Right, so he'd have 2 years left. If he has 2 years left, I'd wait till he has 1 year left and offer him a contract.
Okay. All right. So, just because remember, I mean, he's going to get back. I mean, the way he's playing, he can almost get back to that level of where he was when he left Hearts. So
I'm not worried about his play. I'm worried about his body. But
yeah, that's my
fingers
point.
Crossed.
If you could, because they'll know. I mean, they're saying he's healthy and he can handle it. I would give him a bump of 10 or 15, to 15, 20, and say, okay, you stay here for the next 5, 6, 8, 10 years. You'll be the man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
I don't want because listen, anyone at that point in time can come back and go, hey, listen, I'll give you 25,000 if you come to whatever. And I don't want to have to go through this again. The same thing we're doing right now with everyone else. Mm-hmm. But anyway, just a thought.
One more point before we go into kind of jog-ons and all that is Stokes. I think he's really matured as a player. I think we're seeing more discipline out of him.
And he scored again.
Where I think that Lenny couldn't get consistency out of him. He got a couple of good games out of him, then runs of spells where he was just appalling. Where I think that people went on about Hooper and Stokes link-up play. I think that was pretty mythical. I think that people had a Polaroid memory of it. They took a kind of Polaroid picture of it in their head, and they seemed to believe that was consistent throughout their spell together. But I think the link-up play was sometimes there and sometimes nowhere to be seen, to be quite honest with you. But I think this is the most consistent I've seen Stokes play, and I like that I like where he's playing in the field. He seems just to be more disciplined.
It works for him, yeah.
Yeah. So big shout out to him. I think his work rates went up as well. He looks fitter. He looks.
Yeah, that's what happens when you
got
take
more of an engine. So people, I think the Ronnie thing's getting the most out of him, So he's definitely I'm really it's the first time in a long time where if I was picking my starting Celtic 11, I'd pick Stokes, definitely.
Yeah, there you go.
So
All right,
big shout out.
Actually, you know what? That's a perfect segue. So let's move from from Stokes conversation into Jagon or Yaldi, because I have a bunch of those to go through. You ready?
Let's do it.
The first one is the striker hot seat. First one, striker hot seat. The conversation about Hooper not playing any games down at Norwich. And the question was laid out there to a couple different articles. Would you take him back knowing that the Stokes-Hooper partnership was there? Jagon or Yaldi bringing Hooper back to Celtic Park?
Jog on. Absolutely no interest in bringing him back to Celtic Park.
Now, are you one of those people because he left, you don't
No,
like
it's
anymore?
not. To be honest with you, I never really liked Hooper that much as a striker, and he doesn't fit into our new system. He's probably... So you've got all the worst case scenarios where he's already left the club, so that's a bad point as well. Bringing people back's not always the best thing to do, but we'll talk about that later on. Secondly, he's went down and got quite a lot of money from Norwich, so he's going to be on a high wage. We'd have to buy him, which means forking out money for him, and he doesn't fit into our current team. So I think it'd be a terrible investment bringing him back to the club, to be quite honest with you.
Okay, that's fine. Next one, you ready?
Right.
Skepovic being linked with a move to Levante in January.
Well, we were both shocked when we got Guidetti and we got Skepovic.
Skepovic.
Yeah. Skepovic or Skipovic. I'm probably getting it wrong. We were both kind of shocked, and it did seem like it's one of those things where you ask for a toy for Christmas and then suddenly you get both of them. You get two toys or whatever, you know what I mean? Two different things. So we were kind of shocked that they signed both of them. And it does seem strange that we've got a £2.2 million player sitting on the bench. I think if someone offered him us quite a bit of money for him at the minute, or decent money, we'd probably take it on the basis that it looks like Guidetti's going to be the man and we'll bring in someone else to kind of support him. I don't know, you could say he's just not sold. I want to give the guy a chance. I hope he does become a good player for Celtic, but I think he's not really shown a huge amount so far that he's going to be great for us. Don't know, what about you?
I think what's going on right now, I mean, if you put the two together, I mean, I hate the fact that he's linked with everybody and the whole thing with Marseille and everything else. I think it's just a wind up, to be honest with you. Of course, Sweden played in France. I mean, come on, they were at Marseille's.
You know what? It wouldn't break my heart if he left. However, I'm going to give it a jog on. I want to try and see him come good.
Yeah, I think for us, for him to go, I mean, he needs to do something. He needs to. Well, put it this way, he's got a big game Thursday.
Huge game for him.
He's got a big game Thursday, and I'm going to reserve. I'm going to go. I don't know yet on Jagon Yaldi if he's. I mean, he's got to do something. Well,
you know what? I'm going to reserve judgment on the player if we start crossing the ball consistently. Because Stokes can't cross the ball. Forrest doesn't cross the ball particularly well. Matthews definitely can't cross the ball. The only player who can cross the ball in the fucking team's Izzy, and his crossing sometimes rose ed as well. So he's a guy that headers the ball. He needs people to fucking cross the ball to him.
I have this feeling the only word that Izzy knows in English really well. You know what it is?
What?
Four. Never mind. Anyway.
All right, Jagon or Yaldi, right? Linking both of those things about crossing the ball and about bringing old players back to the club. Jagon or Yaldi sign Shaun Maloney.
You know, we had this conversation. Remember, we asked this question a couple weeks ago about what would happen, who would be Celtics you would bring back. He is on a tear right now, and he's just been linked with the team with the MLS.
He's linked to Toronto before that as well. Fuck that. He's too good for Major League Soccer. He's too good for the Championship as well. That goal he scored against Ireland was fucking phenomenal play.
Great.
The only problem with Maloney is keeping him fit. I think the fans got frustrated with him.
You think that'd be a problem now at this team?
I think he's the type.
You mean fit as in not? You mean healthy, not
healthy, not fitness. Yeah. Where the problem before when he was at Celtic was these last spell he had Nakamura, McGeady, and all that there. So he was struggling to get in the team. Secondly, and I think Forrest was coming through as well at the time, playing that kind of 4-4-2 with two. You know, there was no real room for him. See, now we're playing this 4-2-3-1. There's an extra spot in the team he can play because he can play one behind the front man as well in the Johansson role. So I think he'd be a great investment right now because he could play left wing, he could play centre of the attacking three, and he could play on the right. So
what that does. I'll say this. I would say in that situation, depending on how much Waylon wants, which we'll talk about him later too, I would give you a Yaldi on that one, only because with all the contract conversation, Jagon or Yaldi, you ready? Why hasn't Commons signed yet?
I don't know. I think he's probably for off. But see, just one last thing about Maloney before we go into comments.
Yeah.
Maloney would fit in definitely with Ronnie's dietitian and fitness regime. He's absolutely... See, I know this for a fact for a friend that was working at Celtic. Maloney and Nakamura, after they finished games, would both go to the gym together. And would go into the gym after games and start lifting weights and start doing running and cardio after playing a full game, when other players would sit about in the lounge having drinks and stuff like that. He is genuinely very, very rapid, really, really fast, and a bit of an athlete. He'd be absolutely perfect for Ronnie's system, so I'd take Maloney back. But Commons, I think Commons' time's probably up at Celtic, because I think it depends what money you could keep him on. You're going to put him on money where he's one of the top earners at the club, and to be honest with you, he's not guaranteed a game anymore. So it seems a bit of a silly move putting him on that level of money. So I could see him going, and I could probably see him going to Bolton with Lenny, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yes. I mean, in this situation that he's in now, Maloney would fit. Yes, I agree with that. Watching him play, yes. But here's the problem: he's not one of the players that you talked about that we needed. Well, he's not the defensive left-sided midfielder that we really need.
No, he could play in the left wing.
Yeah, he played left wing, but I mean,
we wanted I said a defensive midfield player, so a central defensive midfield player, or someone to play on the left side of the front three. So he could play in that role, but I'd rather have a left-footed player there. But we have a lot of left-footed players at the moment, so I'd buy him and play him there. Here's another speculation on transfer: Jogon Yalde signed Anya.
You mean the girl who's the Norwegian rock star? Oh, that's Enya. Never mind. Oh, you mean the
Norwegian?
We need a left back. We do need a left back.
He's not a left back. He's a left winger.
A left winger. I thought he played defensive left wing. Left back. No.
No, he plays like left.
Another left back. Whatever.
He can cross the fucking ball, which is more than half our team.
That's true. That's true. I mean, he's played well. I mean, he's the one who had the corner kick to start the goal. So I mean.
He scored a goal against Germany as well, did he not? He's probably fit in our team well. Apparently, he was a Rangers fan growing up, but I don't think that really stops anyone anymore.
That doesn't stop anybody anymore. Yeah. So here you go. So are you ready? So enough of the transfer stuff. You ready? Teemu Pukki, Jogon Yalde being named Denmark's Player of the Month.
Well, there's nothing to Jogon Yalde. Like, all he says is like, "Well done, good. Hopefully, some cunt buys you." He's no coming back here, that's for sure.
all right, that's good.
Right, Jogon Yalde sell Matthews, because here's the thing, right?
Yeah, that's the Jogon you can't right now.
Because Lustig is our number one, right? He is our number one right back, okay?
Yes.
But he seems to be permanently injured. But then again, so does Matthews. Matthews seems to be permanently injured. So do you keep two permanently injured players at the club?
He played 90 minutes yesterday. Please don't even say that.
Okay, cool. So you want to keep him? So jog on.
Totally jog on. All right, so you ready? Next one. One more transfer thing for you. Jogon Yalde, Wayne Rooney coming to Celtic.
That's just ridiculous, man. Jog on. It's never going to happen in a million years.
See the headline? You know how old he is?
He's never coming to Celtic.
You know how old he is?
If he's going to go anywhere from Man United, he'll go to like Real Madrid or some.
He's already 29.
It's like saying Messi to Celtic. It's never going to happen.
No, do you remember? Did you see the headlines though?
No, I didn't.
Oh, after England played played Scotland, the whole conversation was, yeah, my kids only wear Celtic tops, and he loves it here, and blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, would you come here? And he's like, there's a reason to talk about that. So you know how the press twists everything into he had this stopped conversation about him coming to Celtic. It was stupid.
That's probably up there with one of the stupidest things the press have ever said to try and twist a story out of something.
Isn't he on like $200 million or £1 million a week?
Just stupidity. Here's an actual serious question. Jogon Yalde, once we've built up some form of lead in the SPFL, putting in young players to give them a game, do you A, do it, Yalde, give them a game, or jog on the basis that this is Ronnie's first season and it's more important in his first season to just build up the first team and build momentum? And then that's kind of like a next year thing. Is it too much too soon? Should he just be focusing on his first team, or do we has he done well enough to start considering other players now? Is it too early?
Here's the answer. The answer is a Jogon and a Yalde. The reason why it's a Jogon or Yalde is I don't know I want to say he would think Yali here because he came in talking about that.